There have been many speculations about what deals the Lakers are going to make this offseason as the franchise tries to build on what was a disappointing end to the 2021 season. And we might have just been given a subtle hint about what is going down in the transfer market when Portland Trail Blazers power forward posted a picture of him and his son with LeBron James and his son. The question is more reality than a speculation. But really, could Carmelo Anthony be moving to the Lakers? It was disappointing for both the Trailblazers and Carmelo after their season ended in the playoffs first round with a 4-2 loss to Carmelo's former team, the Denver Nuggets. It was the 8th consecutive postseason appearance for the franchise. In fact, no active team in the NBA has a longer active streak of postseason appearance than the Portland Trail Blazers. And even though many people would consider this a feat or something to celebrate, the franchise as well as their veteran forward Carmelo would feel disappointed, as they were dumped out in the first round. The Trailblazers were undone by their defense as they have one of the worst defensive ratings in the league, with only the Sacramento Kings having a worse defensive rating than theirs. It's safe to say that the Portland Trailblazers' 2020-21 season was characterized by two trends. One was incredible scoring performances from all-star guard Damian Lillard, who seems to have gotten tired of their lack of postseason success and their terrible lack of defense. At the beginning of the 2020-21 season, the Trailblazers acquired forwards Derrick Jones Jr. and Robert Covington to cure their defensive woes, but that didn't happen. The defense was so bad that they were allowing 115 points per game, just to tell you how bad it was. The fans were quick to point out their head coach Terry Stotts as the main issue, and that's why the franchise decided to part ways with Stotts after 9 years. The Los Angeles Lakers, on the other hand, were dismantled by a Devin Booker-led Phoenix Suns in 6 games after losing Anthony Davis to an injury. The Lakers obviously feel they were undone by several injuries to their star players, and they will be quick to point it out as the major reason why they were eliminated in such a humiliating fashion. However, with several players hitting the free agent market this season, there's plenty of room to grow and improve, and that's where Carmelo Anthony comes into the picture. Carmelo Anthony has had a long career in the NBA, and the 37-year-old forward has remained popular among the fans across the world, irrespective of where he's played. He will one day enter the Hall of Fame because of his time with the Nuggets and Knicks, which were the two teams he established himself as one of the most elite scorers the league has ever seen. But ever since his last game with the Knicks, the 37-year-old has dealt with a lot. First, he had an underwhelming year in Oklahoma, and then a very brief stint in Houston, and then he became a free agent. Nobody wanted him. No team wanted to give him an opportunity. He was being questioned as a player and a teammate, and the thought of retiring seemed like the best option. He was in a terrible place in his career until the Trailblazers came calling, and then he was handed a resurgence of a lifetime on the Portland Trailblazers. After being out of the league following a short stint with the Houston Rockets, Neil O'Shea gave him a chance. In his 2 seasons playing for the Blazers, his tenure has been as good as it could be. He went from a starter during his first season with them to their 6th man last season. Even though it was a major setback, he accepted the role and embraced it like a mother holding her child. That's what he's become, a veteran whose role is to support the younger players and fuel their flames. During the 2021 season, Carmelo said, "I had to swallow that pill. I had to be really honest and then transparent with the team and with the organization, and also with Dame and CJ. You know, we had multiple conversations leading up to me coming back here. Those conversations were honest on both sides, and it was just something that I was very comfortable and familiar with the situation. So I would rather come off the bench here and knowing that this team and players still respect me at a different level, and the coaches and organization." Anthony understands his days of making the All-Star team and All-NBA are gone. In 2 seasons with the Blazers, he has averaged 14.3 points and has come off the bench in a career high of 66 games. Anthony won't make it back to those levels or height he made before, and he's become a role player that can be depended on to score. And in a league that is dependent on scoring, that will keep his career alive. Melo is set to hit free agency this NBA offseason after spending the last 2 seasons with the Portland Trailblazers. Especially with Portland entering a new era with Chauncey Billups as their head coach, and even though he's publicly said he would like to retire playing for the Trailblazers, it appears that with a new arrangement in the franchise, his time at the Blazers might have come to an end, especially when you consider all the Damian Lillard drama going down at the Blazers right now. Despite being a free agent, Melo is in a position where he doesn't have as much power in the free agency as he used to. It looks like he now understands his worth and role, and he is mainly just interested in winning his first ring, and it appears he's found that with the Lakers. Adding Carmelo to the Los Angeles Lakers would provide the Lakers with a dynamic and efficient 3-point shooter. When it comes to 3-point shooting, the Lakers aren't exactly blessed in that department. That's not to say that the Lakers don't have shooters. They do, but these shooters do not take threes at nearly the highest rate or even make them at the best rate. Instead, the Lakers have relied on the dominant duo that they have in Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And you can understand that flex, as the Lakers have 2 of the best 10 players in the league. But with AD out for the majority of last season, the Lakers' lack of an elite three-point shooter and their lack of shooting was exposed because LeBron could not do the same things he did in Cleveland when he was surrounded by shooters. With Carmelo, the Lakers would be getting a player who took 327 shots with 44% accuracy, his highest since 2016-17. For those who know Carmelo closely, they know his favorite shot is the fadeaway, and he took 122 of those, shooting 40.9%. Without a doubt, the Lakers will be getting a player who knows how to get the basket. Majorly, any team wants to surround its stars with complementary players, and in the case of the Lakers, that's AD and LeBron James. Melo would be one of the catalysts off the bench, perhaps coming into the game when Anthony Davis needs a breather. The Lakers could also have Carmelo on the floor with AD and James at the end of games if the situation at hand becomes a half-court affair. That way, Carmelo would come into the match due to his ability to score in a variety of ways, and also because he had the ability to slow the game down. We also need to consider the fact that almost half of the Lakers' rotation from last season is hitting the free market this offseason, so bringing in Carmelo definitely sounds like a good business for both sides. Another reason why this move works is due to the fact that competition is getting stiffer, and for the Lakers to beat a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who are favorites to win the NBA championship next season, they're going to need some shooters. Their star power advantage in LeBron and AD definitely won't be enough. And if there's one thing that Carmelo can still do at a fairly high level, it's to shoot the basketball. Just like we mentioned earlier, Melo shot 40.9% from beyond the arc last season on 4.7 attempts per game. What's even more impressive about that is that he was one of the 22 players in the NBA to shoot 40% or higher with at least 300 attempts. Carmelo is not a great defender, and the Lakers might have to make him one there. Also, he's not as fast as he used to be, or have the same ISO skills that he used to have. But as an off-ball three-point threat, Carmelo can hang with the best of them. So there's no doubt Carmelo is a smooth scorer. He can bang in the post and also create enough separation for jump shots. Even though he's 37, he can still become a key player for a contending team, serving as an instant offense and an outside shooting option. It seems like Carmelo's main interest is to go and play for a team that has a legitimate claim or chance at winning the NBA Finals, given it's the biggest hole in his storied career. And at 37 years old, he might not get this opportunity again. One of the biggest reasons why the signing of this 16-time All-Star makes perfect sense is because Anthony comes cheap and there's literally no risk involved in bringing him in. He would bring something to the table that undoubtedly helps. It appears the Lakers are really interested in the former 10-time NBA All-Star, and before the start of next season, Carmelo might be teaming with his close friend LeBron James in the same team. A close source told Evan Massey of NBA Analysis Network that the Lakers seemed like the most likely landing spot for Carmelo. There have been a lot of rumors going around that Carmelo Anthony would be going to the Lakers as a replacement for Kyle Kuzma. That might surprise you, but we all know that many factors play into the Lakers' early playoff exit. But one of the major factors was Kyle Kuzma's inability to be a tertiary star alongside Dennis Schroeder and LeBron James. Kuzma was only able to average 6.3 points on 29% shooting from the field in the first round against the Suns, and so it makes sense that the Lakers could look to move on from him by replacing him with Carmelo. It's no secret that LeBron and Melo have a great relationship that goes beyond the NBA, as the two players entered the league together and have remained close ever since then. So the Lakers could persuade Carmelo to join them so that they could team both himself and LeBron together, in hopes that their off-court relationship could transcend to a successful relationship on the court. With Melo now 37 and LeBron 36, the two would gladly team up to win Melo his first championship, and for LeBron, his 5th championship. If this should happen, we might be looking at a fairy tale ending at the end of the season. LeBron James has also spoken of his desire to play with Carmelo at some point in his career. This was back in 2018, when LeBron told Rachel Nichols of ESPN that it would be great to play with his close friend. Here's what he said. "I don't know. I mean, listen, it's just my opinion, but it's not like I lit a fire in anybody's ass. It's just my opinion. People ask me questions, hey, how do you feel? And I think it would be great to have Carmelo Anthony be on the Lakers. I believe Melo can still play the game. I believe I can help Melo. I know Melo better than Melo knows himself at times, and vice versa. So if the opportunity presents itself, I would welcome it." That's what it all boils down to. Melo isn't the superstar he once was, but that positive impact on the game is why LeBron and the Lakers could look to bring Melo to LA this offseason. Anyway, keep your fingers crossed, as sources close to the channel can confirm that the deal is close. Comment below to let us know your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe for more. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another one of our videos. We'll see you next time, latest Hoops fans. Until then, keep shooting your shot.